All right, guys, this is hopefully going to be a quick video on diagnosing the fan for your E-fan for your 5.9, if you have a 5.9, which are not very common. But anyways, this has just been coming up a lot in the Facebook forum or Facebook group that I'm in, so hopefully this will be a little bit of a help. You'll need this and just a bit of a willingness to get down and dirty within here. I mean, it's not much at all, really, I would say. But there's a sensor on your lower rad hose and your upper rad hose. There's temperature thresholds that are different for both sensors, and obviously the flow goes through the rad that way, and the water is always going to be warm coming out of here. So there is it is still lower, I believe, on this threshold, and this one's higher. But the idea is that the temperature is generally going to get a little bit lower as it comes out of the rad. But if you're really pushing your engine for any reason, or it's just running hot, like extremely hot ambient conditions, and you're idling and air's not flowing through the radiator, then the water coming out of the radiator may still be warm enough to trigger that sensor, and then you'll trigger the high fan speed. So this is low fan speed and this is high fan speed. If your low fan speed isn't working for whatever reason, like your connection's bad or your motor's bad, or the sensor itself is bad, or just anything along those lines, the quickest and easiest way to diagnose it is by doing this. So you get a paper clip that's like that, just so you can short the pins on the harness. Let me see if I can do this without, I have to do this one-handed with the phone, and hopefully I can wedge it in there really good. So that's the low fan speed. And I don't know if you could hear very well. There we go, yeah. So you can actually hear the relays click when I contact the harness with the paper clip and short the connection. We'll go ahead and try the high speed since I have it here as well. So it's right here. You have to be very careful not to short it against the rad cap. Again, just to point it out, you need your key to be in the on position. Don't have to have the engine running. I may have mentioned that in the Facebook group, but someone pointed out it's probably not a good idea. Or it's just you can just do it with the ignition on but engine off, so that you don't have stuff moving around here, and you'll grab your jacket or your sweatshirt or your sleeve, and it'll be a bad day. You don't want that, obviously. So let's try out the high fan speed, and let's see if you guys can hear the relays click. Oh yeah, so those are some nice distinctive clicks. But let me see if I can get it to sustain high fan speed. This is kind of tricky. So yeah, that was very clearly the high fan speed. And yeah, that's just a nice, easy way to diagnose that. Try out both, make sure the connections are good. When I bought this thing, someone had done some really junky stuff, like they used some crappy auto electronic radio, plug-on crimp connectors to get it attached to the PM9069 motor that someone did mod into here. That is a common mod, is the PM9069 motor. You can ask questions about it, or just look up, just Google PM9069 motor and it'll come up. But people will mod it onto the shroud of this E-fan because the old motor that was original to this car tends to go out quite often. That's very common. So they'll replace the motor, and they have to somehow connect to that motor because it has a different connector to the harness, even though the pinout is the same. There is a high live and a low live and a ground. And I had to buy this pigtail to make it work. It's like a $50 pigtail. It was really expensive, but it's worth it because it's a solid connection, works great, and yeah, hopefully that works out for you guys. See you next time.